Welcome back to Stop, Drop, and Roll. I am Jen Caceres, your host, here today with my guest, Nick Roman, the owner building out Quantum Edge Precision. Nick, what I love about your story, at least what I know so far, is that you started from the ground up. In true meaning of reflect, you've spent nearly 2 decades delivering different components for things like aerospace, defense, medical. Can you tell us about that time that you actually stopped and really reflected? What drew you into machining and the CNC work?
I guess we have to start at the beginning. The first time I ever walked into a machine shop, I was 15 years old, working under my father during the summer to make some extra money outside of school. The next year, I decided I wanted to graduate early. I got my GED at 16 and I jumped straight into the workforce. I spent the next 7 years at my first shop up until the age of 23, growing up right there between machines and the old timers who passed down tricks of the trade. And it gave me the opportunity to learn the old school ways while at the same time understanding the newer approaches. As my skills grew, it continues to draw me in, realizing I can shape raw material into something precise and something critical. Machining at that point became more than a job, it became my way of life.
From a young man, now older professional entrepreneur, working into making yourself a founder, what was that moment where you reflected and you said, it's time for me to build Quantum Edge Precision?
Thanks for that question. After almost 20 years doing this and working at different shops, I realized every shop that I worked at, I gave everything until there was no room left to grow. Every time I left a place, I realized it was because there wasn't more progress available. Last year, I realized that the ceiling wasn't a shop, it was the system. If I wanted to keep growing, I had to build something of my own. I had to prove I could create something myself, not just make parts that I've been making for years, but build a company that can stand for something bigger, for continuous progress. And that's why Quantum Edge Precision was made.
I love that you were able to see that the growth was within. You had kind of outgrown that space and had to create your own. I absolutely love that. In regard to observing and really looking into ourselves, what did you observe in yourself that made you want to go all in and then kept you going? It sounds like your journey has been a lot of ups and downs. What's kept you going?
Well, I didn't come from a standard upbringing, so to speak. My earlier years were rougher than the average, but one of the things that I noticed about myself is that no matter what, I continue to execute. I don't wait forever to be ready. I don't hesitate. And when I realize that I want something, I go for it. Whether that was getting my GED at 16 and being where I am now years later, in between that time, becoming a personal trainer, stepping into martial arts, moving into new shops, or changing my location, I always saw that I had the willingness to put everything on the line, and I always tried to bet on myself. And that's why I continue to do.
And it sounds like challenges are actually something that really drive you.
Yes,
Oh,
indeed.
that's cool. I love that about your character. What opportunities did you see that besides, hey, I really want to grow. And if I want this to be something different, I have to do it. What kind of gaps were there?
Well, most shops I worked at, I see that they care more about production and numbers, and unfortunately, less about the people and the people's growth. There's a huge gap in workforce training and giving young people a chance, or people who have never had the opportunity of manufacturing or skills trade a chance. I realized that with the technology that is available today, we have the opportunity to actually help operators. Instead of just replace them, we can help them learn faster to do their jobs better. And that's the gap that we're trying to fill at QEP. Not just cutting metal, not just building parts, but also building people. And, on the shop floor, leadership is about getting the job done today. When you're running a company, leadership is about building a future. So there's a difference there. When you're on the shop, I'll get the job done. But when you're running a company, what's going to happen for the future? And that's what I continue to think about at QEP. How can we build this company out so that it's not just about quantum edge precision? It's about what quantum edge precision can do, what it can bring. And that's why the economic development has been such a huge part, reaching out to different individuals or leaders in our community to say, hey, we have something here. We have a blueprint to bring something that is necessary. And that's my plan. That's my goal.
That observing, that really being self-aware combined with the reflection, it sounds like even from that young age where you sort of had this dream planted from a young man and going through all of those things and really seeing it for what it is. And I just think that's such a gift to give back to the community to be able to lift those young folks who are coming up and learning and becoming the next generation of manufacturing. I really admire that story. In regard to listening and listening to yourself and to people around you, how did listening to your gut, we say that a lot, how did that lead you to where you are right now?
Well, my gut told me the time is now. And even when logic said to wait, I have a steady job, security, things are fine in my life. Deep down, I knew I'd regret it forever if I didn't step out and try to build something bigger than myself. And listening to that instinct has been my compass. Every major breakthrough I've had is because I listened to my gut. And no matter the obstacle, I said, hey, this is not the end. Every obstacle that came up, I said, this obstacle is actually the way forward. And I never looked at it as a roadblock.
That's super admirable because I think a lot of people will hesitate or just not move out of fear.
Yeah.
So just hearing that and listeners as they're thinking about that thing, because we all have, I don't want to say we all, but so many of us have that one thing that it keeps digging at us and it keeps surfacing. And it's admirable that you drove through the fear there.
Yeah, it's been quite a journey, but it's still just beginning. Quantum Edge Precision is young. We're almost a year old, and the amount of momentum that we've been able to build has been because the mission is much bigger than one company. And when I set out to launch Quantum Edge Precision, I said, hey, I want to start a machine shop. I've been doing this long enough. I can do things a little different. And then I realized, wait, there's a mandate for this. There are federal mandates, there are statutes, there are laws that say that civic leaders in states, in particular places like hub zone communities, which is historically underutilized business zones, they have the opportunity to really bring economic revitalization back where we need it most. And that's what Quantum Edge Precision ended up turning into. It's much more than a machine shop at this point. It's an economic engine for growth, and it is the next part of the next industrial revolution.
Wow. That's pretty powerful. Plus, I don't know about you. I'm sure you have all of these visions, right? But I can envision such a community around that, not only supporting the community at large, but just the community of workers that you have and the investment in them that they're going to feel knowing that they're part of this. I think that's super powerful. It sounds like you're blending CNC machining with AI driven tools and really optimizing workflow. How are you listening today to both the craft and the technology to make them work together?
Mm. There's actually a saying, machining has a sound, and the old timers will know what I mean. You can hear when the cut is right, you can hear when the machine is off. And similar to that, AI also has a sound. If you listen to it properly, it can help you with your data, prediction, and give you the right instinct. It won't replace the craft, that amplifies what you already know. At QEP, listening means respecting both the tradition and the innovation and making them work together. So that's what I've been listening to, the past and the future at the same time.
It sounds too like you've also been investing in yourself to invest in the future of manufacturing, doing some new skills training and those sorts of things. What does that look like as far as like certifications for you?
Well, I saw the old ways of manufacturing are starting to change. Supply chains are breaking, companies are reshoring, shops are struggling to find skilled workers. It's a culmination of what QEP was designed to be able to fix. And I sensed the only way forward was to combine the craft with the technology. I knew I had to prepare myself to lead that direction. And I got these certifications and credentials, but the certifications and credentials are here nor there. It's more of the knowledge and the understanding to be able to apply what I need to drive this mission forward. So I said, what do I need to learn in order to be able build quantum edge precision to what I'm trying to build it. And, whatever it is that I'm trying to execute, I try to find as much knowledge in that domain as possible.
I would imagine that just the technology alone, the rapid pace of change will keep you on your toes for the next, forever, probably.
Oh, that's the beautiful thing about technology. It's always evolving, and we will always have the opportunity to learn more, grow more. And that's how I've gotten to where I'm at. Even when quantum edge precision is launched, we'll figure out a way to take it to the next level.
I can hear it. I can hear it in your voice. The last step here is to evolve. I want to talk about evolution for you because it feels like everything we're talking about, everything that you're explaining is growth. And that's exciting. I can hear it in your voice and in the content that you post on LinkedIn and other places. So, how has your definition of excellence evolved from being a hands on machinist to being now an entrepreneur, really building these systems and partners and this strategy that you're creating?
That's a great question. As a machinist, so called excellence is measured in tolerances, plus or minus 0.0001. That's my world. That's where I live. As an entrepreneur, excellence to me is about alignment. It's not about hitting a spec, it's not about being perfect. It's about building systems that make sense, creating partnerships, creating a culture that's pushing everybody in the same direction towards progress. I think excellence before used to be about perfection, especially in machining, it's about perfection. But when it comes to what drives that, perfection does not drive perfection. Transformation drives perfection. And that starts with our people, our communities, and given opportunities to say, hey, I want to be a part of something that is striving for excellence.
Part of tomorrow, part of the future. That's exciting. For listeners who might be skilled tradespeople and they're dreaming of entrepreneurship, they're in a shop or they've been in a shop before and they want to get started, what are some first steps that you would advise them so that they can evolve in their careers?
I would say, I think oftentimes the fear is what holds us back. The worry, the doubt, the hesitation, the regret that you are already thinking about before anything even happens. What if this happens? What if that happens? I would say make a plan the best you can and start before you feel ready. It will never be a perfect time. If you wait for the perfect time, you will never move. Begin small, stack wins, build momentum, surround yourself with people who challenge you and give you advice to keep you growing. I feel like that's what has been able to keep me on this path. This is what has driven me. And as cliche as it might sound, the dream only becomes real the day you decide to take responsibility for it. You need to build your future. And that's what I did. I'm grabbing the reins and I'm building the future for myself and for the people around me.
I don't think it's cliche at all. I think I don't know, this might sound cliche. It's like a dream come true where you have something that you're really bringing to fruition and you are doing some of the really hard work. I know that you're meeting with a lot of people, maybe some big players out there, and you're having to really pitch this. And that's a big job. So I just, again, want to give you kudos for that. Nicholas, you're really rocking it there.
Thank you. I appreciate that. And sometimes the dream
Yeah.
can be a bit of a nightmare, but we still continue. And this is something that it's inevitable. It must be done. There's a mandate for it. And it's about who's going to step up and say, hey, I'm ready to help fulfill that mandate. And we need this. We need builders. We need manufacturing. We need trades. And CNC machining is part of that. We can still make sure that the future belongs to us.
Future belongs to us. I love it. So looking ahead, how do you see quantum edge precision and your leadership impacting the future of the manufacturing and all these things we've been talking about over the next 5 to 10 years and the whole next generation, their interest in this?
Well, QEP, it's not just a shop. This is going to be something much bigger. This is going to be a model. I see us as proof that American manufacturing can thrive. It can be powered by AI, human oversight, powered by people, rooted in communities. And if we do this right, it won't just be about the parts, it'll be about the people. And the next generation, they deserve that from us.
I am really impressed, Nick. I think that coming in and doing this, it's not easy. The impact that you're going to have on your community, the impact that you're having on the next generation is truly profound. So if people want to get involved, maybe they want to come and check you out, maybe they want to invest, or they simply want to follow your journey. What is the best way for people to do that and get in touch with you?
The best way I would say is called quantumedgeprecision.com. And there at quantumedgeprecision.com, you'll be able to find our blogs. We have been blogging this entire story, documenting every part of the journey from the setbacks to the progress. It's all there. And you can follow our socials. You'll see the tabs there for LinkedIn, X. And we also have a GoFundMe if you want to support us and donate to a cause like this. It goes directly to Quantum Edge Precision LLC and all of our endeavors and what we're trying to build here.
I encourage all of you listening, keep an eye on Nicholas Roman. He's got some amazing stuff going on with QEP, and I think we are going to see some pretty profound impact in the manufacturing world from this gentleman. Thank you so much for joining me today, Nick. I appreciate your time and can't wait to see what happens.
Jen, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Thanks for all of your questions. And thank you for giving me the opportunity to explain what's happening and for sharing this journey and this mission. And the revolution continues.